Okay, well, welcome back to Popo Community for Justice. I'm Apostle Cecil Hatchett, and I have Brother Bruce Broussard here that's running for office, and I'm very happy to have him here today. And I'm praying that he'll speak on all the subject matter that will affect you and his life and all our lives, and that's what's so very important. So that's why he's here today, because he's got a lot of good information to help move you forward and help move other people forward. And we have his beautiful signs here that he's had made possible for all you people out there that's planning on voting on the 14th of May. And what area will he vote for, Brother Broussard?
You know, Multnomah County District Number 2.
Multnomah County District Number 2.
Right there.
So you'll see that on the sign. We will have that up all the time that I'm up here. And that's what I want you people to know. Right, without further ado, we have Brother Bruce Broussard. That'll enlighten you on all the wonderful things he's trying to achieve or cause to happen in our lifetime. Go ahead, Brother.
Well, Cecil, first off, thanks again very much for your presence. I mean, the efforts that you've made volunteering to make sure we are communicating and educating folks out there, because both of us have been doing it for years.
Right.
And it's very, very, very awesome. That's why it's so important that, in all due respect, that I'm here and like you're here, because too often what happens is that normally there's an election, but people don't want to get involved.
Right.
And then after it's over with, then all of a sudden they want to complain.
They want to complain, and I'm not trying to hear that crap.
Yeah, but you can't do that at that point in time. So it's important. So thank you very much for being. And as you know, I've run for office on several different occasions, but because of the fact there's a need for the good leadership, there's a need to identify those issues, put it on the table. But too often, what happens a lot of times is that the money comes in and buys the race.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we're still having the problems. And a good example of that is here. I've been in this community over 40 years.
Amen.
40 years. Dealing with issues across the board, and when one starts talking about what have I done, I'm saying, hey, that's very important. Having on the Portland Observer newspaper and being in business and on the restaurant with my wife.
Yes.
And being in construction.
Right.
And helping folks get jobs.
Yes.
And training and dealing with the unions and dealing with the prime contracts. I mean, just on and on and on. And so, bottom line, you need that kind of a resume.
Amen.
If in fact you're going to deal with an issue of a major concern. And right up front with you, and to the folks out there, these are very serious times. And we're being told about gentrification.
Right.
And you're looking for the people who are going to be able to stop it. But yet and still, you see the high rises, this, that, and the other. People can't even rent them. They can't even get rent in there. See what I'm saying? Because they need jobs, and the price is so high, it's pathetic. So my thing is that I'm running because there are some issues with this particular seat, Multnomah County District Number 2.
Yes.
A majority of the people that live in this district are poor folks.
Yes.
Across the board.
Absolutely.
Black
Absolutely.
Folks,
Yes.
Folks,
yes.
Everybody for that matter. So consequently, that's one problem. The other area is that gentrification is big time here. You hear the word gentrification, and what that basically means in many ways is taxes are high. A lot of people can't work. They can't pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? The school situation is poor here. You got a lot of failure rates. And so and there's many cultures here.
True.
There's a lot of many cultures here.
Very true.
Very many cultures, and different languages, and this, that, and the other. So there's a myriad of issues that we need to respond to.
Okay.
You know, and so there's some immediate issues, if you will. You got my point? And so that's one of the reasons why I'm running for office, and just something something that people can immediately recognize. I built a senior citizen complex, 138 units. I'm sorry, 38 units there, right in the back. It's called Walnut Park.
True.
Right there off
Okay.
Kingsworth and MLK.
Behind the police station.
There,
yes.
right there. And I did provide, my wife and I, we did have a business at one point in time where we basically carried the paper so a person could buy a home.
That's true.
Not
That's
rent
true.
a home.
And we show that.
Right. And we did that. And so here we are, both of us are sitting at that point now. We kind of want to retire, but you know what? We can't retire.
Right.
You know, we got to mentor some young folks, and mentor folks, and educate people.
Right.
About the fact that, hey, look, if you want to keep a good community, you got to fight for it.
Absolutely.
And you got to work for it.
You have to work for it. Yes, you do. True.
And just say, because what happens a lot of times in this particular instance right now, I mean, sure, they got national fights about politics and whatever, but we got issues right here in this state, in this city, in this county.
True. Amen. Yes.
And so that's a very important piece. And so I want people to recognize that situation. So now, we've got 4 people running for this office. And I'm just going to be right up front with it. We got 4 people. I'm running for this office. And I've got my background and involvement and whatever. And as you can see my sign right there, there it goes, there it is right there, and that's a very, very important piece. But the bottom line is that we got a young lady from Mexico. Her name is Maria Garcia, and she's been here for quite some time. She owns a small business, if you will, and she's very much involved, in all due respect, with the whole issue of sanctuary city.
Yes.
Sanctuary state.
Okay.
And that's an issue.
Okay.
That's a major issue, and that has impact, even in our community, for that matter. And then there's Sharon Maxwell. She's a young lady. She's a mom, and you know, she's got kids and whatever. But the bottom line is, she's also been in construction, and she's been in business, but she knows the community. That's a very important piece. She knows this community, which is a very, very, very important aspect of it. And in all due respect, then we got a young lady that's running. Her name is Sushila Depal. She's from India. And she's been in this country about 20-some years, but she came here at about 14 to 16 years old, and she makes the point that she came to go to school. You know, okay, so she's got a degree, she's an attorney, and this, that, and the other. But in all due respect, we've gone to a number of gatherings where people are given the opportunity to articulate how they relate to the community. And what's their background? Because I've always said, if you don't have the right resume, you're running for the wrong deal, see? Meaning that you got to have something that can contribute to solving some of the problems. So anyway, in all due respect in her situation, I didn't even know her, and I've been around for a long time. And then I'm saying that here, we just recently had a forum kind of a deal made up of 3 producers.
Okay.
There was yourself, and myself and Tony.
Correct.
And we had this deal to meet the candidates.
Yes, we did. We had a deal to meet the candidates.
Educate,
yes,
if you will, and inform the voting public across the board as to why should we be supporting them or whatever. The idea is, do they know what the issues are? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And hear them. And then unfortunately, she didn't show up.
And that's what's so very important. When certain people don't show up, it's as far as I'm concerned, either they don't care or they don't care enough as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
And I'm just trying to let you people know that Bruce Broussard does care. He's been around a very, very long time, and he's really trying to make a footprint in Portland area and for District 18. And I'm really hoping and praying that people will support Bruce Broussard in Multnomah County and District 2, and because he has been here consistently, and he has did a lot of wonderful things in this community, and he'll continue to do a lot of wonderful things in the background or in the forefront. So please, you people out there, don't let him be ignored or passed over because you people are so has such a short attention span. So please tell us some more about you, Brother Bruce.
Here's some things that some little historical facts, and I tend not to brag.
Oh, please do. I'm
the bottom line is that, see, like today, right now, District 18 now is 43, District number 43.
Right.
But it was 18, and in all due respect, that came about because at that point in time, my wife and I used to own the Portland Observer newspaper. Okay. And so we felt that, in all due respect, that the Northeast Portland, where the blacks live, I'm looking for the address.
Right.
The Northeast is all over the place.
Right.
You got my point?
Right.
So we needed something that could identify where the blacks were, as many as we could.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's not a black district. It was a community where none of the residents happened to be black.
Yes.
So therefore, it would give blacks an opportunity to run for office.
Yes.
And win. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because at that point in time, nobody could run for nothing. See what I'm saying? So they ran, but they didn't win. I mean, sure, Margaret. There was a Bill and Gladys, and Bill ran, and he was a senator, but he was up in the St. John, St. John area or whatever. But we needed something that we could basically. So the bottom line is that we went on, and I went on, and in fact, Ron Herndon was very much involved in the process. The people in the community were together.
Yes.
When we got that district.
Yes.
Okay. So the point I'm making is this. Had that district not been formed, all the folks that you know today,
yes,
Abel Gordley, Margaret Carter, Lou Frederick, all of these folks would never have been elected.
Absolutely.
Had it not been for the fact that the people hadn't gotten together and gotten District
Amen.
18 at the time.
District 18, yes.
And I'm saying, and that's something that I was involved in.
Absolutely.
I was one of the point persons.
Yes, sir.
And see, people need to know that folks, and this is not trying to form, like I say, a black district. These people were basically saying, okay, fine. When the federal dollars come back to be shared to deal with the issue of homelessness and education and all the needs that normally all thriving communities have, we want to make sure we're at the table.
Amen.
And we weren't at the table.
And I just want people to know, Negro, colored, African American means something.
That's right.
The title means something.
That's right. That's right.
That we're children of parents that were Negroes.
That's right.
And colored, black African Americans, but we're from all different.
That's
from
right.
all different parts of the United States.
Exactly.
And we need to be recognized and acknowledged for all our hard work.
Exactly.
And this is what Brother Bruce Broussard is doing, is saying, look, I'm here. I've been here for years. I've been on television for decades.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
we're trying to get a message out there to you people out there in TV land to know that he exists, and he's not just trying to be a quiet voice. He's trying to be a heard voice. And on his show, you're welcome to come on his show. Go ahead and tell about your show, brother.
Well, yeah. In fact, let me one couple of points I was going to make in regards to this district is that like I said, I mentioned the folks that are here, and if anybody knows what this district is about,
right,
and the issues in this town,
yes,
as it relates to black folks and folks across the board,
yes,
because I've run for governor the whole 9 years. I've been all over this state.
Yes.
If anybody knows what this area is and what the problems that exist, I know.
Yes.
And in all due respect, I think she's a fine young lady, but my point is that the element that put her there to run, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because she does not have the background. And I'm just being straight up with you. I will debate her any day of the week, and I've invited her to come to the show.
That's true.
But she's never come to the show.
You invited her.
I've invited her.
Everybody else
I've
to
invited
have
her.
a conversation.
These other women, they were there. I mean, they were there, even though we're competing with one another, but they have the same force. I might be a little bit more knowledgeable because of my time and my involvement. But the fact of the matter is, I'm having a problem. And then the other thing about that is that the people who tend to represent her and said that because they are very knowledgeable, they said, well, look, she's more knowledgeable than anyone else. Like when the newspapers, the Oregonian and even the Scanner newspaper and the Portland Observer newspaper both endorsed her too. And I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute, these are people that's supposed to have enough knowledge to know what the issues are. Why select someone that in fact is not going to address the issues?
Right.
You know, so maybe they may not want the solutions.
Well,
they just want to drive them out. That's called gentrification.
And that's what's going on. We're trying to solve a problem, not create a problem.
Yes.
So the issue is, if you people are seriously trying to make life better for yourselves and other people, then Brother Bruce Broussard is the choice. And many people we've had on the show and invited to the show, and we had a show on
just recently, about 3 weeks ago,
which was
about 3 weeks, a couple weeks ago,
or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We just had a show and had all the people that were running for various offices and
they were here,
different titles, supposed to show up. And if they didn't show up, that's because of their own fault, not because of the show not letting them on the air or whatever the case may be. They could have came. The invitation is wide open to them, and an opportunity to make a showing was here to present yourself and your issues, and if you had someone to compete against,
Right.
you
Right.
had a chance to talk to them
Right.
and
Right.
format your issue,
Right.
because we had guests in the audience that came out with very personal questions they were asking about what they thought that the individual would be able to do for them or to help better their lives. And if the person wasn't here, of course, the question never got answered. But the few people that were here that did show up, they made a very nice showing. But I'm just trying to let you know that Brother Bruce Broussard was here and is here right now today,
Yes, yeah.
and trying to push you people forward to say, do what's right, and that's what life is really all about.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, I might add too along that line. You would expect, like I said, I've been around. Okay, I've been around,
Absolutely.
and I tend to be concerned when someone tries to, especially those folks who are supposed to be responsible, and
Yes.
many of which who've endorsed her have said, "Well, he's a perennial candidate." What are you talking about? I mean, I'm not a perennial candidate. I've always, when I run, I know what the issues are.
Absolutely.
And I've got a solution for the issue.
And
you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then so consequently, that's why I'm saying, especially this time, this really concerns me, because they're able to get some of the same black leaders that I fought for, that this community fought for, to be elected to office, supporting someone that doesn't have the background.
I understand.
And you say, what is going on?
Well,
You get my point?
but please speak on yourself.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yes. So the name of the game is this. Look, folks. Again, this concerns me so much. That's why I'm running for office.
Yes.
And I'm running for office, and I can solve some of these problems. I happen to be a senior citizen. The job, if you will, as far as the county, they really they focus on senior citizen issues.
Yes.
I'm very committed. I'm passionate with that.
Yes.
In fact, when Brother Gates was at the county and he had the senior citizen program, I served on some of the boards and committees at the senior citizen. In fact, when I was in the Marine Corps and I came here, I had the Marine Corps, if you will, take the seniors out to a fishing derby.
Oh, okay.
You know, we were involved in that kind of a deal.
Yes.
And the Elders for Action, I was there, if
Yes.
you will, at those tables. But in all due respect, I didn't see her at these tables. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be knocking her. I'm just saying point blank. Those are facts.
All I'm interested in is
the
the
facts. You know what I'm saying? So that was an area that's a very serious situation. And as far as the mental illness aspect of it, that's a very serious problem.
Yes.
Okay. And the thing that comes up right off the bat with reference to the mental illness aspect of it, you think about it, the homeless situation. That's huge in our area. Huge in our time. People are looking for a solution. So consequently, this business about Wapato jail came up. And what I did, Cecil, when that issue came up with Wapato and all, before I even got involved with trying to run for office, like you, interviewing folks, I invited folks to talk about Wapato.
Yes.
What was Wapato? Where did it exist, et cetera, et cetera. So I just basically got the history of it, checked it out, and said, wait, we got all these people laying all over the street and urinating and all kinds, and they've got problems. It's such that they need a place to stay. First off, we need to find out who's on the street. And so if you got a facility that can house 500 people plus, it's sitting on 20 acres, and it was designed for something like 2,500 people or
Okay.
1,500 people, then you say to yourself, wait a minute, we got the people on the street. We need to know who's on the street so we can direct them to the right services.
Absolutely.
Makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
See, got me?
Yes, yes.
And so, but then there's this reluctance of people saying, "Well, we need transportation. I don't like to go over there." Wait a minute. Is that what we've done when they had issues with dogs and cats and just running around the streets or whatever? We came up with the Humane Society.
I understand.
Remember that?
Yes,
and the whole idea was to pick them up and give them what medications and shots and this, that, and the other, and then basically offer them back to the public if they're for adoption, right? I mean, the people that are out on the street right now are treating worse than animals.
That's very, very true.
It's really a sad note. So the whole idea of Wapato, which was built years back, and at the tune of about $50 million or something like that, 40 something, whatever. But the bottom line is that for years they supposed that they didn't have their operating fund. What do you mean you don't have their operating fund? I mean that should have been solved a long time ago. The rationale for that, what I mean by that is that right now, the county, they are the jailers, if you will, for the county, okay, the jailers. When the Portland police picks them up, they take them over there to this facility. And what they do, guess what they do? They vet them out.
But they sold it now.
No, they sold it. But the point I'm making is that when at the so-called jail with the county, right now with the sheriff department, they vet them. You know, if somebody commits a crime or whatever, they bring them in, right, and they vet them. They check them out, mental illness. They check everything out, and then at the end of the day, if they committed a small crime, they go to over here. If they do this, they do this. If they do this, they do this. After they see the judge. But the bottom line, a lot of times we got overflow. You know, we needed more beds than we had people that committed the crime. See what I'm saying? So the name of the game is that they let people go. They just let them go. They say, well, we just let so many folks out or whatever. But my point is that, and here's a facility sitting there that they could have used, if you will. You know what I mean? And especially with the mental illness thing, that's a serious thing, because we used to have a mental illness situation. It was called damage, where people were, you know, they had facilities there.
I understand.
You know, that kind of a deal. But now we don't have damage. Now, again, that facility in many ways could be used, if you will, to deal with that situation. Because a lot of people are hurting, stressed out, a PTSD, or on and on and on. So Wapato is sitting there. But again, you got to get them in an area where you can find out who's on the street, okay? Treat them like human beings.
Well, a gentleman just bought Wapato.
Gentleman just bought it for $5 million.
Right.
He basically, there were several bids that were going down there, and just briefly on that whole business, when it first came up, I mean, really got to be serious. There were several other bidders before him that came up with different ideas, and it just went down the drain. They didn't perform. So this guy here came in. He's an investor, so to speak, and he had bid $10 million, about $10 million to begin with, and then he said, well, gee, it's not feasible and whatever, and then he came back and said, well, I'll only go $5 million, and then another gentleman was bidding about $7 point some million, and the chair, Deborah Kafori, didn't accept the bid. He just went on and accepted the $5 million and sold it to him for $5 million, okay? But by this time, there were some other individuals that were very concerned about about using the facility i.e. to vet and house the homeless people, you know what I'm saying? And so they got together, a gentleman by the name of Homo Williams, who was a kind of a developer himself in his own mind, was in the business, if you will, of dealing with the homeless issue.
And that's what I'm interested in.
And he then basically, first he had bidded $7.8 million or something for the facility. Well, she didn't take his bid. She went on and just said, I'm going to take the $5 million from this other gentleman over here, who had no background, by the way, in homelessness sheltering, okay?
Right.
But the long and short of it is, she sold it. She went on and gave it to him for $5 million. He got the building, but there's been so much pressure about solving the homeless issue aspect of it. Folks got together. A guy named Tim Boyle from Columbia Sportswear put $1.5 million in this pocket, this non-profit pocket, to basically put some things together to get these folks off the street. Then this guy from this Wally, I think it's Wally, whatever his name is. But anyway, he then sold the property to a gentleman by Jordan Scherzer, and they're well-known business folks and investors in the city. And so he picked it up, and what he did, meaning that this gentleman here, he flipped the property, and then what happened was this other gentleman's got it, and he basically called Homer Williams and said, look, I got the property now.
All right, yes.
And then now let's come up with your magic, and let's put this together, and then told the whole business community, all the people that are infected, say, if you guys want to help, put a couple of dollars in this pot here so we can solve this problem. So that not only will we have the building, but we need the overhead and then all the services. So they're in the process of organizing it now. And I think that's an excellent idea.
Well,
now,
they haven't established it or set up a homeless program. And that's what I'm mostly interested about, is because people always talking about the homeless program or helping the poor or don't have a pot to piss in or one to throw it out of. And they're throwing pity parties all day and night and week. But the reality is the homeless program would be of a great benefit to people, and that's what I'm interested in. That's what folk community for justice is interested in. Justice for all human beings, irregardless of your race or color or whatever. But you need to get you behind off the street and put in a place safe and with a facility that'll make sure that you have roof over your head, heat, water, and a place to go wash your behind, and get back out there and go find yourself a good job or a piece of job or whatever kind of job.
That's right. Well, see, that's one of the reasons why I'm saying I'm running. That's part of my plan. I'm going to be at the table. I'm going to be at the county. If I'm at the county, I'm going to make sure that in many ways we're going to lease some of those beds for housing.
I'm talking about the whole thing.
The whole thing. You know
everything.
We're going to lease some of those properties. And I'm saying I got the inside, if you will, that I'll be able to work with these folks to make sure that it's legit and it's not going to cost the taxpayers a whole bunch of money. Because of all due respect, initially they were basically trying to get it and take it off the payroll, the tax roll, and let it be something that we were generating funds back because we were losing money. Well, now it's out there, but at the same time, we're going to need those beds. You see what I'm saying? In many ways.
Yes.
So we want to lease that, which will offset our costs in terms of what we're doing now. We'll have a cleaner city. We'll have a cleaner county. We can deal with the idea of that money should go back into making sure that we take care of the mental illness, to make sure that we take care of those young people and their families that are out there that are homeless, make sure that we take care of the seniors, in all due respect, who almost got 1 foot out the door, getting ready to be homeless.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that money should be directed that way. Now, right now, the mayor of the city has kind of like said to us, well, we need to take that money and that $5 million that we have right now and put it in the housing. Well, you know, make sure you let me know where you're going to put the money. I mean, just making a statement. You see what I mean? And right now, and as I see, and I've been going to the county commission meetings for quite some time lately, if you will, and I'm having problems understanding whether existing commissioners, whether they understand what the deal. They all voted, if you will, to sell that building for that building was worth every bit of $60 million. They left that much money on the table. That money could have been used for a number of other things.
Or the same money could be used again.
That's what I'm saying. See, but the thing is, what happens is that all of a sudden, here we're facing the summer month, right? There's going to be more homeless folks coming to Portland, Oregon, because they said, look, they're giving them vouchers to come down here and just sit out there and hang. You got me? And then guess who has to pick up that service? More money. And then they say, well, gee whiz, maybe we need to build another building. Wait a minute. As far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't have even sold it. They should have went on and developed it. You see what I mean? And I've been in the development business. I understand the idiosyncrasies of it. I can sit down and talk with these guys and and make some sense of this deal. You see what I'm saying? They need someone responsible that's going to be on that deal. So my point is that there's no one there sitting on the council right now that have my background. You got my point? You got to know what you're talking about.
And we need to help poor people, because that's all I truly care about.
Poor people, that's a very, very, very important piece. You got me? And so you need to find out, like you said, we need to know what services that they need. And we don't know that yet. And that facility will serve for that. Got me? And now we got all these business folks together. And the point is that now it's not going to be a headache on us as far as the public, i.e. where our taxes would be raised to be able to satisfy this. It's off the payroll now. It's going to be a private venture aspect of it, got me? And they're going to basically resolve the issue of homelessness on the street now. So the idea is that you won't be seeing a whole bunch of litter on the streets, got me? And folks just living in tents like it's raining or snowing. I mean, that's ridiculous. They need something over their head.
Yeah, we need a facility.
They need a facility. Yes. And this could be just like temporary housing, you see what I'm saying, to a certain degree. Get me?
Absolutely, yes.
And then they could be farmed off into other services that are available. And then they might have services here, services there, and this, that, and the other. They can get temporary service or put a satellite of services already existing at that facility.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
That's very, very true.
And then someone said, well, gee, Bruce, well, what about that transportation? Well, let me put it this way. If you're going to go downtown, if you ain't got no money in your pocket, what do you need to go downtown for? See, you got to get a job. So part of the training could be they could set up some training programs there, if you will, and identify. Some people got Social Security and things of that nature. Once they find that out, then bang, then all of a sudden they might be able to rent a facility downtown or something like that. But if they get into a building downtown, you know, you don't want to coop them up downtown. That's the problem we have right now.
Well, if they got the Wapato, they have somewhere to come from.
They got that's right. That's exactly. So my point is that it's in the making, and I feel I'm the guy that can. They need me on that seat.
Well,
that's a major deal. I can do that.
And I'm certain that you'd be a great benefit to people being able to help in that area, because there's a lot of wonderful things that can take place for poor people, and that's what I care about. Truly care about is poor people.
And I can work with the ladies that are on there right now. I don't disrespect it.
Yes.
You know, they've always made the point about, well, there was a women issue aspect of it. Well, yes, I happen to be a male, and I think that's good. I'm also a vet. I'm a disabled vet aspect of it.
Yes.
And so we got a vet program at the county, and all due respect, I see some problems with that.
Yes.
In terms of them being able to provide the right service. The only thing I see is that when the budget comes out, they add in more money to something that they're not performing.
I
on.
always hear them talking about more
always
money.
want more money.
$1 billion, $1 trillion, all that crap. If we got that much money, I don't see it.
That's ridiculous.
And we've not got or passed it around or put people in great jobs. That's
ridiculous. In fact, I've even gone down to basically ask them about the services and won't even return their calls. See what I'm saying? So my point here, I'm a vet. And then they had, at one point in time, they had a young man that was the director of the program. Well, they let him go, and supposedly he got more money. See what I'm saying? But then they put someone else there that wasn't even a veteran.
Okay.
And everybody knows that you need that relationship at any organization, that a vet is there present.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be able to avoid that. I mean, my point is that I'll be a vet, but I'm gonna make sure we put a vet back in that department. It's very important.
Okay.
I mean, that has to happen. So I'll be the only vet sitting on the commission.
Okay.
You get my point?
Wonderful. Yes.
And I'll be the only male, because a lot of times people are talking about, what about the role models for young people today? And I'm talking about whatever color, a role model. Well, we need that. Men and women.
You'd be a good role model for black, white, or any
That's right.
other color.
I'm saying,
yes.
Yes.
You're still on television. You're still doing great things.
Yes. Yes.
And you're easy to be gotten to,
Yes.
or easy to be communicated
Yes.
with. So there's all the things that people claim they're looking for.
Yes.
They're looking around you because you dealt with many people, and they get as if they had some kind of brain fart. They just can't get the wonderful knowledge that you're trying to share with the people and apply it at this point in time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. Bruce Broussard is here right now. He's able to help you people right now and help you people accomplish the things that you want to accomplish right now. So we're talking about we need to pull together. It's kind of important that you meet a lot of wonderful Negro, colored, black, African Americans, and you need to get them all together.
Yep.
And if they don't become elected, or at least you'll know they're friends with Brother Bruce Broussard, where they can play some kind of role in making things better for any and everybody.
Very much so.
And that's what we need as human beings, because most people, like, when they don't get what they want, they just walk off and say, well, the heck with it. And we shouldn't be letting it be forgotten like that. We should be fighting for land and fighting for freedom and justice to any and everybody and all human beings. And that's what this here, when we're fighting for District 2, what you're pushing for, right, Brother Bruce Broussard?
What's that now?
For Bruce,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I might add, too, I'm not going to forget those talk shows that I do. That's going to be ongoing.
Absolutely.
To continue educating the people.
Yes.
You got my point? Because that's another problem that they have.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm saying that's why they need me. I'm saying hopefully I'll be a mentor to some of the folks who are already elected.
And to get your voice out there.
People need to know what services are available, how to get to them. You got my point? And they need to react to issues like making sure that seniors stays in their house.
Yes.
not run them out through high rises and this, that, and the other. They should stay in their house.
Absolutely.
But you got to talk to the planning committee.
Yes,
right?
you do.
And so somebody has to represent them and say, wait a minute, I want to know how many seniors are living in this district.
Yes.
You got me?
Yes.
So when you start planning high rise, and a lot of times progression is fine, but I want you to take into account that these folks are living there. That's why they work so hard to get these homes. You got my point? And they want to just die there. They want to just, that's it. This is my goal. I reached my goal.
Same with my home.
That's right. I reached my home. But today there's nobody to talk for them.
Yes.
There's nobody to talk to them.
Very important.
See, that's very important.
I'm not trying to let people beat me out of my property.
That's right.
Or coerce me out of my property, or con me out of my property, or anything of this nature.
And you shouldn't have to worry about all that technical stuff.
No.
All due respect, the paperwork, that's my job. That's the county's job. And that's one of the things I want to do. I want to set a situation up that I want to have a portfolio on every senior living in that area. Yes. And if they get down to the point that they're not making a bill here or this, that, and this, that, and the other, guess what? I want some money there to make sure we offset that kind of problem.
Amen.
See, we need that just to make sure. These are mothers and fathers.
Yes.
Of young people that are working, they got their degrees and this, that, and the other, and they're living and whatever. But they got to remember, they're going to be there one day too.
Yeah. Because at certain points, our income ended at certain stages in our life, and it didn't increase nor develop to the higher level. And yet you still have to make ends meet because the price of any and everything is steady going up.
Exactly.
And I just want people to know that they have somewhere to turn to, and that's what I'm saying to you, Brother Bruce Broussard. You be a wonderful individual to turn to.
Well, Bruce will turn to him too.
Amen.
Because I need him too.
I believe.
I need him too. You know what I'm saying?
I believe.
And then safety and crime and stuff like that. Some of the old folks can't even get out their house.
I believe.
They can't go down to the store.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
I mean, you see right now they modernized and got progressive on the bicycles and whatever, but I don't see no tricycles. I mean, you know what I'm saying? With three wheels, you know what I'm saying? This way you can get the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts during the summer months to come by after you identify the seniors and get them out their house. Let them get out their house.
Amen.
You got my point?
That's very true.
And the wheels on meals is a very important piece.
Absolutely.
You got my point?
Oh, the wheels on very important.
And a lot of times they say, well, gee, Bruce, they can't get the transportation, the waiting list, and all this other good stuff. Wait a minute. No. I want them to live the best of their what's left in their life. I want them to live the best.
Live their life.
Very important.
Amen.
And for all due respect, I'm even thinking about a program to make sure that the kids don't come in there and force their mom and dad to sell their property.
Right.
Meaning that I want to set it such that if there's anybody selling on that piece, their realtor, whomever, we have some system when the deal, they have to check with the county first.
Right.
Before they do anything.
Because people always trying to trick you out of trying to sell your property.
And I
or coerce you into selling your property.
Oh, man, I've heard some stories.
Live in your home.
It's awful.
Until you die.
That's right.
And then speed your death up because you got one type of illness or another, and you've lost your very, very valuable property.
Exactly.
So I want you to hang on your property all your life and pass it on to your children or grandchildren.
Exactly. And that's kind of like what I wanted to hear when I was going around with all of these folks talking about what's going to make you a better candidate. You get my point? Most of the people that are interviewing, they don't have the background.
Right.
See, and what I'd like to see is that if I'm on the county, what I want to develop the questions and the issues and give them to the entities that are interested in interviewing these folks. This way, they're talking to the issues that are relevant.
And that's very important because people really need to hear the relevant issues. Instead of just hearing a bunch of gibberish.
Yes. See, because when I look at this guide, I'm looking at the voter's guide right now that you get, and you ask yourself the question. You look at this stuff, and you got people that can prepare that stuff.
Right.
This is not the real world stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking folks who are doing it. I'm just saying we got to change the deal if, in fact, we're going to solve these problems.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
I'm not anti-her in any way, shape, or form. All I'm saying is that there are two people here. There are younger people right here. The other two individuals that are running. I'm saying I'm gonna hire them on because I know what their skills are.
Okay.
And I can use that skill set.
And that's what's important.
I can use the skill set.
To everyone,
and then as they work and under the deal and able to focus on the issues, and then boom, at the end of the day, later on down the way, they could run for office. Now we got a very responsible person.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then I'm suggesting that this lady Shashila that she should have been getting out more. And in fact, I was going to the county commission meeting the day, actually it's about a month before I even filed a run for office. Okay. I was there every Thursday, speaking before the council, trying to find out what the Wapato thing is, the different concern. And in all due respect, I never saw her. She never showed up.
Well, okay.
See, never showed up. But the other women, they showed up at times, you know. But I was there every day.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I was at the other thing I was doing was I was saying, well, why can't we do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I mean, we go back a way. A lot of times people think that's old-fashioned to recognize what this country is all about. And that's what it says in that Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Well, I've been doing that every Thursday, got me, and getting folks, educating folks, because that to me is a very serious issue. Right now they talk about institutional racism.
Yes.
Well, you got all these cultures. Everybody want a piece of the pie.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And so there's a divide. So everybody's fighting for this, that, and the other. And so race issues come up and whatever. So my point is that, first off, let's find out what this country's about. And in some cases, it didn't fit me. You got my point?
Okay.
But at least you got to know where you've been if you're going to be going to where you're going to get ready to go. You understand what I mean?
So when they try to figure out what this country is about, what were you getting out of that?
Well, what I got out of the deal, but when you make that pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. It tells the origin of the 13 colonies. It talks about that, got me? And it talks about Lincoln, because Lincoln was the one who was the 16th president of the United States. He was the one that really put us all together at the 16th president, because as far as African Americans are concerned, we fought for this country. We got a lot of history, and my point is that when he basically said, okay, fine, African Americans, African slaves can join the military, gave them a uniform, and said, now you are Americans.
Right.
And then at the same time, gave each one of them, excuse the French, an assault weapon
Absolutely.
to fight.
Absolutely.
You got my point?
Absolutely.
And then they were part of the whole process. Well, to me, that would have been it. We wouldn't be talking about race today,
right,
if Lincoln had lived, I think. You know what I'm saying? But then he got shot in the head, and he was so open about working together between the North and the South. He had the Southern president, basically the Southern governor who was running the Confederacy, be the vice president.
Okay.
See? He'd be the vice president, and then all of a sudden, guess what? He died, then Johnson got back in, and then went back to the old way.
Yeah,
so that's what the deal was.
Yes, that's true.
Well, look, buddy, I'm gonna go on and let you do the rest. As you know, I got to go get this message. But please vote. Go out and vote. And vote Bruce Broussard, Multnomah County District Number 2. And Cecil, I'll let you go on and you do the deal. And hopefully we can win this deal. And I will definitely commit to you. Once I'm sitting on that seat, I will come back here with you at least once a month.
Amen.
Is that fair?
You're 100% welcome.
Okay, all right then. And thank you very much, Cecil.
Okay, win or don't win, you're always 100% welcome to this show, for Community for Justice.
Okay, my brother.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Cecil.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Bruce Broussard. All you wonderful people had Brother Bruce Broussard today out here letting you people know his heartfelt feelings about everything and anything. And he's running for District 2. And for Bruce Broussard, Multnomah County District 2 for Bruce Broussard. So that's we're all praying that he'll, as far as I'm concerned, that he'll get elected, because he's been very specific and been very, with being used to being here all the time and showing up all the time and getting his message across to all you people. And he tried to put a lot of Negro, colored, Black, African American people's message out there to let you know that they're interested and want to succeed. But he's continuously been here and will continue to be here and move forward, and hopefully maybe he'll help get all you people on track, or maybe get you people, hopefully put you in a position to become a person that'll work with him to get the issues straightened out regarding the issues with Wapato and all that other good stuff, because it's very important. And that's what's very important as far as I'm concerned. So I'm really hoping that he becomes the individual for District 2, that he gets elected. And I know my prayers are for all of you people without no respect of person, but Bruce Broussard has been very consistent and being on my show all the time, and always bringing up good issues and really trying to move these issues forward, and that's what I really care about. So again, his name is Bruce Broussard, and of course I've shown his. Can we put his poster up, and we'll show that to the people out there in TV land. So if you're trying to elect anyone, please elect Brother Bruce Broussard, and that's what I'm really praying that what you wonderful people out there in TV land will do, because we're really trying to put a black man or individual in office to do something powerful for people, period, especially black people and all people, but I'm saying especially black people, because I really trust his heart is open to any and everybody, and that he'll do his job and do what's right and just for any and everyone, white, all colors, all races, I don't care. But please, Brother Bruce Broussard, you can get on a show in the future. I do a show every Sunday, and he does a show, and I do a show in Studio A, he does a show in Studio B, and maybe you could do some wonderful things on his show and get your message across and get your information out there. And that's what's very important, that you do that. And that's what Popo Community for Justice is all about. And it's justice for all human beings, any and everybody. I fight for any and everybody. Today, I was going to raise the issue about Wapato, and I did bring that up. Wapato jail, someone privately bought it, and it's they're thinking about, we're talking about making it, one individual was talking about trying to make it a way for profit, and I'm trying to say it's a way to help poor people make their lives better, and that would profit any and everybody. So if you some kind of way could possibly find out for whatever nonprofit organization that does exist or is in existence right now, I really suggest that you'd offer to help that individual expand his or her or their knowledge on trying to make the nonprofit organization work for Wapato to really bring a lot of people to the forefront, and all these people that are poor and they don't have to actually be poor. They just are in a whatever kind of situation that they're in right now in life in 2018, that Wapato can benefit these people to put them in a home where they be warm. And thank you very much, Brother Ron. Thank you. 10 minutes, thank you again. Where they be warm and have somewhere to live and to eat, and their children can eat, and to bathe, and to have healthy, fresh drinking water and all that good stuff. They set the prison up because first they thought we were going to lock up everybody, and so for just about 20 years or 2 decades, or that's almost 20 years. But I'm just saying that the Wapato jail just sat there unavailable and unfunctional, and of course all the money that was spent by the taxpayers to lock folk up or throw them behind in jail and doing all kind of prisoner type stuff, it could have been basically put to good use or better use to help the homeless people, period, put them where they could either get a better job or be where it's safe to return home and have with their own door that locks behind them, and food, if they were getting food stamps, or it doesn't make no difference how they eat, as long as they were getting good food and food stamps and things to help keep them nourished and get their get their body back up to strength. That was very, very important. So I'm just saying to you people out there in TV land that keep your hearts and your minds located to all human beings. Fight for justice for all. That's what it's all about with me. And I was going to bring up regarding, today I was going to come to the show, and some lady hit our car hit our truck and tore up the left side of it and busted the truck open. She was a white woman that hit it. And then later, when my son ran and helped her get out of her car and waited for the ambulance and the police to come to get her to safety, she was immediately explaining that that she wasn't driving and she walks. And maybe she was, like I'm saying, she was dealing with the situation where she couldn't recall what had taken place. But she tore our truck up, and tore up two other cars across the intersection, and and we gave them our information that they needed, and to know what took place. And her family came, and friends came to get information, and her son had asked us, she kind of hit your car. And I'm looking like him because me being a Negro colored, old, black, African American, I'm listening to this white American, trying to give me some watered down ass conversation like maybe she like hit your truck but didn't do no damage. I'm looking like she damn near tore our truck up. And my son is like, we're gonna let the police deal with it to bring the situation to justice. But it's just very important that when awful, evil things happen to black people, when I'm dealing with a lot of white people, they're pretty good at, or white Americans, good at glossing things over or watering things down. And if you just drop the conversation at the at the conversation that he had presented to you, you're kind of half-assed stuck in that piece of conversation. I'm trying to let him know, no. She tore our truck up. Here our truck is running great, and then we get ready to get on my front porch on our way to get into the truck, and the truck is now tore up to smithereens, or it's tore up in this. And then she's sitting down the street down there acting like she has no recall. And my son kind of made the statement, well, she might not be American, but when I asked the person that came to check on his mom, they made it very clear that she's American and everything is fine, because I need that information. And this lady, we as black people, we started trying to justify justify away people's bad behavior. And I'm trying to say, thank you very much, Brother Ron. I'm saying if we got to bring them to justice, we need to deal with the meat and potatoes of the issue at hand. And that's where I'm coming from. And hopefully she'll get to the hospital, get better, and start recalling everything. He helped pull her out of the car that she had not only ran into our truck, but the car up the street where she tore up their vehicles too. So if she's trying to get out of it, I'm just trying to keep a record like I'm doing now and speaking on television, letting people know today is the 29th, and that I'm trying to keep a record of what's going on that regards my life or anything that affects me and my family, because I'm not trying to let us know as Negro, colored, black, African Americans, people will beat you out of any and everything. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to sue Wapato and U.S. Bank and all these other people that I'm going after. And the reason why I mention it on television, because if I don't mention it, who else will mention it? Nobody wants to speak on the issue because they're not trying to make an issue of real issues, but they're trying to make us pay money for things that I've already bought and paid for, and now they're trying to come in on the ass end of the conversation as if somehow maybe I'll drop dead and got my point across, but I'm steady trying to get my points across. And I've always went to the F.B.I. to ask them for help, and in many cases regarding my property, and the people that tried to get me a line of credit set up, only to find out later on that the Wapato and all these other people have nothing to do with the bank as far as so having to keep up with the money and all the information, they don't have to deal with that either. But I'm really trying to keep up with the information because I'm trying to make sure that we properly get paid. And I'm suing them for $16 billion, and they're steady trying to extract money from me or my family. And I'm just saying that prayerfully, when the justice is settled and everything is worked out, it won't be like I didn't bring the issue up, or months have passed or years have passed and I never addressed it, but I did. And when you try and get a hold of people, they'll try and act like, well, that was a long time ago, or they're not lawyers or anything like that. They're just people that when you're talking to black people, you try and talk to them like they're ignorant or don't know they ass from a hole in the ground by listening to their conversation and then play on their every word. Well, my every word is not being played, and I'm not stuck on stupid nor asleep. I'm trying to bring you people to justice and bring justice to the Negro, colored, black, African American race. We deserve our money, and I don't care who you are. If you deserve your money, then get your money. And if you deserve to be done right, then get done right. That's what life is all about, and that's what I'm all about. Playing to win for every human being on the planet. I love God Almighty. My name is Apostle Cecil, Cecil Hatchett, and I've been on television for years, and I'm steady trying to get my point across. So play to win, stay strong, and we only have about 1:50 left, but I'm just wanting to get that information out there. So he did get the information to the Portland police, and hopefully he'll get the lady brought to justice and get the matter resolved, and our vehicles will be fixed and whatever we have, and that's what I want to get resolved. And so I'm very happy that I was able to speak on Wapato. And thank you to Brother Ron. Thank you very much for Wapato Jail. It's been bought, and hopefully it'll become a facility that'll benefit poor people, because that's all I really care about, is helping the poor people move forward and make life better. And when we talk about the school district, we're talking about they're trying to put money together for the school district. So they're trying to put together a bunch of money, and that's what I'm pushing toward. And the Bill Cosby situation, you got justly punished, so I don't really have nothing really to say about that. But then we have